Sheng Xiaoyu could not bring himself to forgive Yong. Every fiber of his body screamed in anger. His chest burned with disappointment, and his heart ached with betrayal. Yet beneath all that pain, he still loved him. That was the cruelest truth of all. He had given Yong his heart, his trust, his devotion, and now it was in ruins. But love was not so easily erased. The more he told himself he hated Yong, the more he realized how deeply he loved him. The question clawed at his soul. With so much love in his heart, would he eventually give in? Or would his pride and pain forever keep them apart? The night was restless, heavy with tension. Even before the chaos came, the air felt strange, like the earth itself was whispering warnings in silence. Outside, the wind was still. Inside, the house was colder than any winter night. Not because of the temperature, but because of the distance between two men who had once shared warmth. Yong sat by his window, a book open in his hands but forgotten. His eyes traced the same line over and over without reading it. His mind was not on the words. It was on Sheng. The memory of his gaze earlier, the look of raw disbelief and pain haunted him. Yong knew he was guilty. He had lied, manipulated, and twisted truths for years. But one thing was not a lie. His love. His love for Sheng Xiaoyu was the only pure, untainted thing in his life. In another room, Sheng lay awake as well. He turned on the bed, restless, his body longing for Yong's presence, even as his mind screamed against it. His heart craved the warmth of his embrace, but the betrayal poisoned every thought. He had believed Yong with all his soul. He had trusted him, had loved him with a desperation he never felt before. And now to find out Yong was not who he claimed to be, not an Omega but an S-class Alpha, a man who had woven lies around him for years. The pain was unbearable. His chest tightened with confusion, rage, and longing all tangled into one unbearable knot. The silence of the night shattered suddenly. The ground rumbled beneath them, a deep growl from the earth's core. At first it was subtle, a vibration in the floorboards, a slight sway of the lamps. Then it roared into violence. The walls trembled, the ceiling groaned, and within moments, the house was a storm of chaos. Books tumbled from shelves, glass shattered into pieces, wood splintered as the ground convulsed. Sheng Xiaoyu jolted from his bed, trying to stand, but the floor pitched violently beneath him. He stumbled, crashing into the wall. Pain shot through his shoulder, but he pushed forward, desperate to find safety. Before he could reach the door, the ceiling above gave way. A heavy beam crashed down, striking him across the back. The impact sent him to the ground, his cry drowned out by the deafening roar of the collapsing house. His body trembled, pinned beneath the crushing weight, blood seeping through his clothes. His breaths came shallow, each one more difficult than the last. Yong's door flew open, his instincts sharp, his heart pounding. The moment he heard Sheng's cry, everything else disappeared. Broken glass cut into his bare feet as he ran, dust choked his lungs, but nothing could stop him. His eyes locked onto the sight that tore his soul apart, Sheng Xiaoyu, the man he had loved for years, lying on the ground with blood staining his body, trapped beneath the beam. No! Yong's scream was raw, desperate. He threw himself forward, ignoring the chaos around him. With sheer strength, fueled by panic and love, he heaved the beam off Sheng, tossing it aside. He fell to his knees, gathering Sheng into his arms, his hands shaking as they pressed against the wounds. Blood stained his hands, the warmth terrifying him. His body trembled with fear, but his resolve sharpened. There was only one way to save him. It meant revealing the last of his secrets, but no longer cared. The man he loved was dying in his arms. Nothing else mattered. Leaning close, pressing his forehead against Sheng's, released his pheromones. A surge of raw power flooded the air, strong, commanding, and deeply soothing. It wrapped around Sheng like invisible arms, easing his pain, quickening his healing. Poured everything he had into it, draining his strength, willing Sheng to survive. Sheng's body reacted instantly. The pain dulled, his breath steadied, his wounds knit slowly under the influence. But as clarity returned, his heart clenched with another kind of agony. His eyes widened, disbelief piercing through the haze. That scent strong, overpowering, unmistakable, it was not Omega. It was Alpha. Not just Alpha, but as class. Tears filled his eyes. The shock, the betrayal, the heartbreak, every wound on his body paled compared to the wound in his heart. Hua Yong's eyes burned with unshed tears. His voice, weak and hoarse, spilled out in desperation. "I'll explain later." "Not now. Please, Sheng, not now." Every word drained him further, his energy fading as he poured everything into the pheromones. His arms trembled around Sheng, his body weakening. But Sheng's heart could not accept it. His chest heaved with pain, his tears mixing with the dust on his face. With trembling hands, he shoved against Hua Yong's shoulders, his voice raw. "Stay away from me. Don't touch me. I can't even look at you right now." The rejection cut deeper than any blade. Hua froze, his body still, his arms falling limply. His heart cracked into pieces. He wanted to fight, to hold him, to beg for forgiveness, but the truth was undeniable. Sheng's anger was justified. Every lie, every deception, every manipulation had led to this moment. And now, even as he saved his life, Sheng saw him not as a savior, but as the one who had betrayed him most. The earth continued to rage. The walls split, the floor shook, and dust rained from the ceiling. Yet Hua shielded Sheng with his body, ignoring his own bleeding wounds, ignoring the searing pain. He couldn't let him die. Not after loving him silently for 15 years. Not after everything. Sheng turned his face away, unable to meet Hua's gaze. His voice was low, trembling, but each word cut like a knife. "You should have let me die. At least then, I wouldn't have to live knowing the man I love is the one who deceived me most." Hua Yong's chest caved with unbearable pain. The words stabbed deeper than any wound. He wanted to scream the truth, that his lies were born of love, that everything he had done was to keep Sheng close, that he had never once stopped loving him. That night, they survived, but survival was not victory. Survival meant facing the truth. It meant living with betrayal, with pain, with anger that would not fade easily. For Hua Yong, survival meant living with guilt. For Sheng, it meant carrying a love he could not kill, no matter how much he wanted to. And as dawn broke, the pale light spilling across the ruins, both men knew the truth. The earthquake had shaken more than stone and wood. It had shaken their hearts, their bond, their trust. And though they were alive, they were more broken than ever before.